We start our 6 a.m. hour of Sunrise with two breaking news stories. These are live looks at both of them. First, Portland police are searching for an armed robbery suspect in the Kenton neighborhood and have activated a shelter in place for people living in the area. Plus, raging wildfires continue to burn in Southern California. We're going to have live reports on both of those stories coming up here in just a minute. But first, as we kick off the 6 o'clock hour of Sunrise, we're going to check in with Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis for a quick look at weather and traffic.
Good morning. We have a dry day coming up for you on this Thursday. It was dry last night and clear much of the night, and temperatures have dropped off, so it might be frosty where you are, and that can make things slick. We're also watching some fog pockets, nothing overly widespread, but there's some fog up in North Portland, getting toward the Columbia River, and up into Clark County. Another fog pocket that's south of Salem, around Albany, down into Eugene. Coming into the Rose City, good visibility this morning. 38 is the temperature out at the airport. But again, some of you are 32, and we do have east winds that have returned, gusting out in East Multnomah County into the gorge. Other than that, winds are light, and the sun is coming. We'll be 50 degrees at noon. We could go as warm as 53. Chris is checking traffic.
Yeah, Rod, fog and freezing fog east of the Cascades this morning. Sherman, Gillum, and Wasco County is under a freezing fog advisory. There's a look at US 197 near Ty Ridge. Obviously, thick fog and temperatures below the freezing mark, so that's a problem for you folks. Meanwhile, out of Clark County, a little bit of fog setting up shop here on I-5, but so far the traffic volume in town is in pretty good shape. We do have one traffic alert in North Portland. Again, as Portland police are actively searching for an armed robbery suspect. There's a shelter-in-place order now near Kenton Park in the Kenton neighborhood, bordered by North Denver and Fenwick, North Farragut to Watts. Guys, I know you've got more on this coming up in just a minute.
In fact, Chris, we're going to talk about that right now. That search you just mentioned started just before 1 o'clock this morning after the suspect reportedly robbed a bar.
Thomas Schultz is live near the perimeter of that search. Thomas, they've got dogs, drones, tactical teams spread out to find this suspect.
Yeah, China, they've even got an airplane. The Portland Police airplane is out here as well. They tell us searching for this suspect who they've been searching for since 12:45 when they say he robbed a bar just on North Lombard. Let's show you some of those shots of drones that have been circling the area, searching this few block radius for the last couple of hours here. We've seen 4 to 5 drones overhead us for quite some time, and they've just continued to look for him as they've got several dozen police officers also out searching the area as well. Let's show you a map now of just where exactly we're talking about. Police are urging people in this area between North Denver to Fenwick and North Farragut to Watts to stay inside with their doors locked up here in North Portland in the Kenton neighborhood as they continue to search for this suspect who they say is armed and dangerous. Now, around 12:45 last night, police say the suspect robbed the Mousetrap Tavern on North Lombard, just up the street from where we're standing right now. Shots were fired during that robbery, though they say nobody was hurt. But this happened when they say customers were still in that bar. The suspect was reportedly then seen by an officer carrying a rifle outside on the street after the robbery. When police tried to make contact with them, they say that suspect then ran from police, leading to that call of dozens of police officers responding up here in North Kenton and urging people to stay inside, lock their doors, and to alert police if they see anything out of the ordinary.
So I do not have a good enough description of the suspect to pass it out to the community. So right now what we're basically saying is if someone sees someone in their yard that doesn't fit, that would be a 911 call to us. So we know we can go and check it out.
So that's what they're saying, is to stay inside, lock their doors. But if you do see something, alert police immediately. Once again, they've been out here for hours and continue to search for that suspect in a few block radius that has been blocked off for quite some time. Once again, they've got the drones, they've got the K9s, they've got a Portland Police airplane up searching for this individual. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz reporting live on our top local story this morning in North Portland. Let's get to some other local headlines now. Starting tomorrow, where a judge will decide whether or not to keep St. Helens High School teacher Eric Stearns behind bars while he waits for his trial. Stearns was arrested again this past Saturday, and he now faces 18 charges. In new court filings, the district attorney says Stearns was accused of forced sexual contact as far back as 2001. 2 adults have also accused him of sex assault in recent years, and prosecutors claim that Stearns resigned from a previous job following complaints of sexualized conduct. So his hearing is now scheduled for tomorrow at 1:30 p.m.
A Portland man is facing child luring and sexual corruption charges. Detectives say 33-year-old Joseph Lyons started talking to an undercover detective posing as a child during a predator sting last spring. They couldn't find him at the time, but he was indicted in November and arrested on Friday. Washington County detectives say Lyons admitted to meeting multiple children he met online and are asking anyone with information to contact police.
A controversial plan to protect northern spotted owls by killing thousands of barred owls is expanding to more federally managed land. So the Bureau of Land Management says it's going to adopt the strategy of hiring trained shooters to kill nearly 500,000 barred owls over the next 3 decades. Barred owls are considered an invasive species here in the Northwest, and they're partly to blame for the declining number of endangered spotted owls. And that's a look at some of this morning's local headlines. Now to our national headlines. We start with this look inside the Washington National Cathedral in D.C., and that is where former President Jimmy Carter's funeral will take place starting at 7 o'clock our time this morning. President Biden has declared today a national day of mourning. So that means federal facilities will close today to honor the former president's memory. Post offices nationwide also closed today. No mail service. The New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ also closed today.
And we have new information about the wind conditions in Southern California this morning as firefighters continue to battle multiple fires.
We have Ashley Grahams covering this story for us live in our newsroom. So Ashley, what's the latest?
Yeah, this morning during the Today Show, a battalion chief was somewhat positive in terms of the weather conditions down there, saying the winds are much calmer right now.
Yeah, so this morning is a night and day difference from the last 2 days. We have some calm winds actually right now, which is very welcoming sight to see out here. I believe if it stays like this, we can actually turn a corner on these fires and make some progress today, some good progress. In case they pick up again later tonight, we'll have something to anchor into.
Yeah, he went on to say he's hopeful that they can start to get some containment of these fires this morning, which is so critical, especially when you see images like this, how devastating these fires truly are. This is video of Pacific Palisades, burned out cars, homes, and businesses. The Palisades fire is the largest, topping 17,000 acres burned between Santa Monica and Malibu. The fire has destroyed over 1,000 structures. We're also following the Eaton fire, which is still burning in the Altadena area. This fire has killed 5 people, and because of embers carried by the winds, burned through neighborhoods and over 10,000 acres. And the Sunset Fire is the most recent. It sparked last night and is burning in the Runyon Canyon area. That's very close to Hollywood Boulevard. This morning, it's just over 40 acres. And the Hearst Fire. We have some good news here for you. CAL FIRE says it's 10% contained, though it's still burned over 800 acres in the Sylmar area. We'll continue to follow the latest as more fire crews arrive this morning to support those who are already working around the clock to protect people and their homes. China.
Ashley, thank you. And 300 firefighters from Oregon and 146 personnel from Washington are heading to Southern California to help battle those fires. Crews from Oregon will be in LA for a minimum of 2 weeks. Meantime, 2 local organizations are raising money for fire victims. Yesterday, the Jewish Federation of Greater Portland launched its fundraising effort. And right now, the Red Cross is overseeing more than 1,200 evacuees in shelters around LA. Locally here, volunteers from the Red Cross Cascades region are ready to go at a moment's notice. They say right now cash donations are critical and can make the biggest, most immediate impact on those affected by the wildfires. KGW will continue to monitor the very latest on the Southern California wildfire disaster, both on air and streaming. Be sure to download the KGW Plus app on your smart TV and stay up to date with the latest information. Our Rod Hill also tracking the impact weather-wise on those fires.
Well, that sound that Ashley brought us from Southern California, the fire chief, fantastic news. Again, we said earlier last hour, the observations down there when you get outside the mountainous terrain are all mostly light. And even the Malibu Canyon observation site that was 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts at midnight last night is all the way down, gusting to no higher than 40 right now. So terrific news. Turned out the highest winds were Tuesday overnight into yesterday afternoon. There were many gusts, 70, 80, 90 miles per hour in the mountain terrain of LA County. The highest one was 100 mile per hour peak gusts. And then look at the airports, what they did during the same time frame. Ontario 66, John Wayne 60, Burbank a gust of 60, Camarillo and Ventura County 58, and then LAX a 36 mile per hour gust. Most of the peak wind speeds were from the northeast. Now, there are still a variety of wind advisories and wind warnings posted through the day today into tomorrow for this area, and you would conclude that these advisories and warnings are still up, mainly for the potential of 40 mile per hour gust or higher during the day, still shooting through some of those mountainous canyons and downslipping over some of the areas. But where most people live, down in the flats of like LA, the winds are just light this morning. Here's our beautiful state capital. We have light winds, and I believe that is frost on the grass. So it's a chilly start. Reminder, frost can be slick. 36 is the temperature at McNary Field for you folks down in Marion County. Here are the other numbers. We have a 32 now in Hillsboro. Most of us are above freezing, but obviously some aren't. We have 40 in downtown Portland, 36 now in Salem, 40 out in Silverton, 32 in Estacada. There are east winds gusting out of the gorge, so some of you are getting those winds back, gusting more than 30 miles per hour. Real quick, a reminder, today's dry, tomorrow's not. Here's early Friday morning, solid rain band coming through. That should break into scattered showers by the noon hour tomorrow. Okay, so FYI on that. Back to today's dry weather. Clouds have returned to Hood River, the Dalles, parts of the Columbia Basin, north central Oregon, including Wasco County. We'll have sunshine developing, though, here on the west side, and most of us will get up somewhere close to 50 degrees. The one rainy day tomorrow, that's morning rain to showers. There's a spotty shower threat mainly near the mountains on Saturday. There's a little disturbance now showing up that could bring some showers early Sunday morning, but most of your weekend here in the valley will be dry, and we have a dry start to next week. That's your forecast for now.